Gala, we have a special speaker with us. Welcome, Elizabeth Puthran, ma'am. She is our guest for today, and the college which has joined us for today's session is Government College of Education, Pudukkottai. A warm welcome to the principal, faculty, and dear students of the college. And now, for the benefit of all, let us have a short video of what the program is all about. I request my team to please play the video. Thank you, team. So this has been our journey with various experts, and our 50th session was graced by our respected Chief Secretary of Tamil Nadu, and the 75th session was honored by the presence of the DGP of the state. And today I welcome you all to this session and a short brief about our honorable speaker for today. Madam Mrs. Elizabeth Puthran is an expert in the field of intellectual property rights with over 25 years of experience. Students, first of all, in the field பத்தி இன்னைக்கு இவங்க பண்ற அறிமுகம் வந்து மாணவர்களுக்கு கண்டிப்பா உபயோகமானதா இருக்கும். ஏன்னா ஐபிஆர் அப்படிங்கிறது சமீபமா இட் இஸ் கெய்னிங் சோ மச் ஆஃப் இம்பார்ட்டன்ஸ் அண்ட் அதை பத்தின எக்ஸ்போஷர் கண்டிப்பா ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ்க்கு இருக்கணும். நவ் தட் இன்னைக்கு நம்ம ஆடியன்ஸ் ஆர் ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ் ஆஃப் த எஜுகேஷன் காலேஜ், ஸோ தேர் ஆஃப்டர் அண்ட் அண்டர் கிராஜுவேட் ப்ரோக்ராம். ஸோ அவங்களுக்கு கண்டிப்பா இதை தெரிஞ்சுக்க வேண்டிய விஷயம். அண்ட் மேடம் இஸ் அ ஃபவுண்டர் பார்ட்னர் ஆஃப் புத்ரன் அசோசியேட்ஸ். They specialize in IPR portfolio management, patent law and procedures, trademarks, copyright, industrial design, geographical indications, etc. She is also founder member of the Intellectual Property Association of South India, co-chair of the Global Advisory Council of the International Trademarks Association, and member of the Asian Patent Attorneys Association, all big names. And Madam is also serving as a government facilitator for startup. She is working with many educational institutions and research institutions to give them an awareness and helping them to do this work properly, that is enabling and protecting the IP and to promote the filing of intellectual properties. And today, this session, she will help our students understand what this is all about and how is it going to help them. Thank you, ma'am, for sparing your time to be with us today and for going to enlighten our students about this very important topic. Thank you so much for your presence today. And may I kindly request Mrs. Paviri from the college to welcome the gathering.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. Good morning, everyone. It's my proud privilege to welcome you all to the weekly online workshop organized by Rashtriya Uchchatam Shiksha Abhiyan and State Project Directorate. I have immense pleasure to welcome our principal, Dr. M. Anvichalian, who is the linchpin of our institution. I utilize this opportunity to welcome our resource person, Mr. Elizabeth Puthran, who is an expert in the IP or past 25 years of experience in this field. I assure that this section will be provide more information and intellectual information to the students and also enlighten the path of the students with regards to the IPR. I welcome you one and all. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Elspeth, ma'am, you may please proceed with the session. Thank you.
Thank you, Shiragami, and thank you, Pavili ma'am. I would actually, I like to thank Vanati ma'am for, making this forum available for us in some ways. My first rider is என்னோட தமிழ் அவ்வளோ சரியில்லை. I will try my best. I have two of my colleagues actually, in case you have any doubts. And my Tamil is not understood, they will definitely be able to take you through it. Thank you. And I would also like to thank all the respected people. I know there are a lot of very eminent personalities here on this session as well. Today, what I'm trying to do is that IPR enna, what does it mean? Because now practice பண்ணும்போது when somebody asked me in law field enna பண்ணிட்டு இருக்க, I told them intellectual property rights. So the first thing, people are only hearing the word property. அவங்க திருப்பி கேட்பாங்க ப்ராப்பர்ட்டி எங்கே சிச்சுவேட் பண்ணியிருக்க. And the first thing I started practicing in 95, and I would say இங்கே தான் இருக்கு. So it has come a long way from that. And today I understand that the people, the participants here are more students of B.Ed. So since you will be educating and since you will be very, very critical in taking this path forward, trying to educate the younger generation, younger minds to innovate, I'm just going to take you through a short PPT. Adile enna intellectual property rights in the konja solli thara. There's not enough time. I'm not going to bore you too much with it, but I would like to share a PPT with you and take you through what are the various things that come under intellectual property rights. This is a very general topic that I'm covering. I'm not going in depth. Edada kelvi ketnona, you can interrupt me anytime in between if Shivagami is okay with it, or we can even take the questions at the end of the session. Shall I just share my screen then?
Yes, ma'am, please.
It says I'm not allowed to share my screen.
1 second.
Can I have access? Yeah. Will I get permission to share the screen? Is there anyone here who has filed any form of intellectual property? Patents alarm, trademarks alarm, anything? You may have written a book. Adukku edavadhu protection eduthiruka. If at least you can pick up your hand, then we will know if any one of you is aware of what is the IP that is covered. I would need that. So what we will be basically talking about today, I apologize about the delay, some crazy technical issue, I would believe, but I'm able to share everything else other than my PPT. So once we start on that, we'll be better off. So today, our thought process or the flow of the conversation will be more in terms of any of the forms of IPR that can be protected. Yeah, thank you. It's all, I can see the screen, so I assume everyone else can see the screen.
Yes, ma'am, please.
Yeah. So today we will be basically talking about what is IPR, which is normally known as intellectual property rights. We will be giving an overview about it. So the talk flow will be, I will just introduce you to who we are, just a slide or so. What is intellectual property rights? What are the types? And also because we have a lot of people here who will need or who have requirements with regard to copyright and related rights, because being teachers, there is definitely a problem irukka enakku copy பண்ணலாமா யூஸ் பண்ணலாமா இனி ஒருத்தரோட work யூஸ் பண்ணா என்ன ஆகும். So these are things that will be very much a part of the issues that you will face being in the profession that you are in, and the various aspects of protection. We go to the next slide. So about our firm, even though I've been practicing for many years, we've been around since 2004. We are a firm that specializes only in intellectual property rights. We have 4 offices, and this is what we are all about. We normally, it is not really put here, but most of it is, we work a lot with government and educational institutions, because they find it very difficult to work with government institutions or with educational institutions. And the area, because we are a government facilitator, I work a lot in that area. Next slide, ma'am. This is our mission, and this is what I want all of you to look at. We inspire. Part of our Inspire series is where I see that Rusa has been having so many of these sessions. We also do the same thing, because Inspire Pannada, we start to get somebody to understand or to protect it. We have to be able to inspire people to get to protect their IP. When we say enable innovation, we actually help to draft. We go and do all these sessions with colleges and universities, and then we finally help to protect that innovation. What is intellectual property rights? I'm not sure. Yarkada theriyuma illa, have you come across this before? It is an intangible asset. It is like உங்களுக்கு ஒரு கார் இருந்தா, that is a tangible asset. This is intangible because it is a creation of your mind. Enna inge irukkudo, that is what is put down in paper, and that is what is protected. But when you do that, it eventually becomes a business asset. Now, I would definitely like to quote Albert Einstein here, who says, creativity is seeing what others see and thinking what no one else has ever thought. This is something that we always tell people. IP full varda enna, it is creativity. It is a creation of your mind. It is something that comes from within. Now, in today's age, there are a lot of robots. There are people who say that they can use robots to do patent drafting, to do searches, all those things. But nothing can beat a human mind. So creativity, each one of us is very creative in our own way. And what is the output of the creativity? That has to be developed, maintained, and protected. And also, it has to be used. Only when you use it do you realize the value of intellectual property. Next. These are the various aspects of IPR. Trademarks, நிறைய பேர் அதை brands use பண்ணுவாங்க. Interchangeably, it is being used. Rusa is a brand. It's a very strong brand. For example, I'm just using that as a brand. When we go through, I'll show you some examples of brands. Patents is an innovation. It is something that is technical. Now, copyrights it can be when you write a book, when you have an artist, when you're an artist, if you have a sound recording, all those will be protected under copyrights. Designs is the external appearance of a product, aesthetic appearance. Nama kannile eppadi paakudhu, eppadi namakku theriyadhu, that is what is protected under designs. Now, trade secrets, all of you are very familiar. Nare companies have trade secrets irukku. We talk about KFC, Coca-Cola, that is protected under trade secrets. The next field of IP is geographical indications. Being from the south, we are all very familiar with our Kanjipuram saris, our Tirupati laddus, our the Tanjavur Bombay. All those things are protected under geographical indications. Next slide. We have actually 5 trademark offices and 4 patent offices in India. I just put it here so that you understand that in the Chennai trademark office, you must have seen it, it's in Gindi, just opposite the station. All the states from the south have to file their protection in the Chennai trademark office. So what has happened is patents, but their protection is given across India. They have divided it into 4 or 5 only for ease of doing their work. But otherwise, a protection that is granted by any of these IP offices is across India. Yeah, next slide. Now, what is a trademark? Look at these trademarks. உங்களுக்கு நிறைய பேருக்கு இது familiar இருக்குமே, KitKat, Pepsi. I don't know if any of you can speak, but I think Shivagami has muted everyone. But if you look at the slogan, just do it. It's a Nike slogan. நிறைய பேருக்கு இருக்கும் Nike shoes or t-shirts or whatever. மேலே on the right side you have the TriStar. It's the Mercedes-Benz. So இதெல்லாம் பார்க்கும்போது we immediately, so a trademark can be a word like Toyota, for example. ஒரு symbol இருக்கலாம் like the 3-star. It can be a slogan like just do it. உங்களுக்கு நிறைய slogans will come to your mind when you think about trademarks, or the product or the packaging design. So that is also, these are the various types of trademarks that you can normally have. Next one. Now, what is the function of a trademark? நம்ம ஒரு trademark பார்த்தோம்னா நம்ம என்ன தெரியும், we will know where it is coming from. For example, if you say Tata, you're saying Tata tea, you know it comes from Tata Sons. And there is a certain quality. And the tea vaangana nama we pay extra money for some of it because there's a certain quality that is assured. And also there is a business goodwill. That is not from a consumer point of view, but from the point of view of the company. And it obviously creates a brand awareness. So you know some of the we have very large institutions even in the South. It creates, if you use that brand over and over again, it creates a lot of brand awareness in the minds of the consumer. Lot of you are familiar with this. Instead of Milma is a Kerala product, I put it because I'm basically from there. But if you look at Chennai, we have Avin. For Pondicherry, we have Ponlay. We have various, these are the trademarks. SBI is very, all of you know it. So I just put some of these examples because these are things that you come across day-to-day affairs like in the trademarks. So these are just examples of what people call a trademark or a service mark. Now, this is a very interesting aspect. I was the chair for the India committee for this worldwide. It's a US-based organization. Ungalkella nare trademarks, what is used on a product, what is used on a service, and the maridan theriyum. But now what we have there, the latest thing that is coming now is that there is something called a sound mark. நீங்க அந்த lion roar பண்ணது பார்த்திருக்கேன். So that sound when a movie, in the Gemini movies, when they start, there are those sounds, a trumpet blowing. அதெல்லாம் sound marks தான். Color, look under the sole of the shoe. அதுல ஒரு red color இருக்கு. இதுக்கு நிறைய cases போயிட்டே இருக்கு because is a color, is a single color protectable. In the shoes, this is the Christian Louboutin shoe. It's worth a few $1,000s. The reason why I put this here is also, உங்களுக்கு தெரியணும், in the traditional marks allame, there's something called non-conventional or non-traditional marks. So it can be the motion. In the car open pannadu, and if you look in the screen, you can see, you know, the different ways in which it is opening out. That is a motion. Nokia would a handshake. That is a motion trademark. Very well-known personalities like Amitabh Bachchan, say Sachin Tendulkar, even their signature also, they have got it protected. Shape of a product. Hershey's Kisses is that little shaped thing there. It has a trademark called Kisses, but also the shape of the chocolate is a non-traditional trademark. Next. I'm not going to go into this, but if you look at how we select a trademark. Tomorrow, several of you may start your own, I don't know, you may have your coaching classes, you may decide to start an institution. You may not even use the B.Ed that you're using. You may go into different, I know different people have gone into different fields. And the time when you trademark select pannumbodhu, you have to be very careful that it should not be generic. You cannot call a pen a pen. But you can call a pen or you cannot call a computer. Let me use that example, a computer. You can call it, say, Apple. Today, even though Apple is a common word, it is not used on computers. And the trademark should not be descriptive. It should not have direct reference to the product. It can be suggestive. When somebody hears a name, they said, "Ida reklam," you know, or it can be arbitrary, fanciful. See, Colgate. Colgate now, if you're looking at a parachute, for example, it doesn't relate to coconut oil, for example. So the more distinctive the mark, then it is easier to get protection. So if you're all starting your own businesses at any point in time, keep this selection criteria in mind. இந்த மாதிரி நீங்க fanciful trademarks இல்லைன்னா arbitrary is the best way to come up with a particular trademark. This is just the process. So I don't want to go into this because it will take some time. What we normally do is we do a search. If உங்களுக்கு ஒரு புது product, if you're going to launch, say you're going to launch a publishing service, a publishing house, and you're just going to start it, we always tell you do a search first to ensure that this trademark is available for registration. Adukapram we file the application, it is given a number, and then the government examines it to see whether it follows all the criteria. After that, it is advertised in the trademark journal and it is open to opposition for four months. யாருக்கு வேணாலும் oppose பண்ணலாம். இப்போ உங்களுக்கு you feel aggrieved, இந்த trademark சரியில்லை, இது என்னோட பேரு ஏன் இனி ஒருத்தர் ஃபைல் பண்ணியிருக்க, you can file an opposition against it. And if there is nothing, then it proceeds to registration. Now, நிறைய பேர் நீங்க பார்த்திருப்பாங்க TM போட்டிருப்பாங்க, சில பேர் R and circle போட்டிருப்பாங்க on top of that trademark. Now the thing is, if you are going to be using TM, it can be a pending trademark or a registered trademark. But R use பண்ணதுக்கு you have to always use it when the trademark is registered. I'm saying all this because I know there will be many future entrepreneurs here. And this is something not just trying to tell you இதுதான் IP, but also how you can use it for the future. Trademark is valid for 10 years. எல்லா 10 வருஷம் அதை renew பண்ணணும். Renew பண்ணதுக்கு there is no time period. You can perpetually renew the trademark. The next slide. I just brought this in to put in some color. நீங்க பார்த்தா இப்போ Alpenlebe இந்த அதுல ரைட் சைட்ல இருக்குனதான் the original thing. இனி ஒருத்தர் அதை காப்பி பண்ணிருக்கு. Adidasல நீங்க பார்த்தா it can be very deceptive because Adidas the second இதுல பார்த்தா AB, it is the D has been put the other way around. So all these things, Bisleri பார்த்தா Bristly, Belsri நிறைய இருக்கு, அவங்க அந்த same color combination use பண்றாங்க, so people can get confused by it, but clearly this is passing off or infringement. Starbucks la kuda, see the way that they are trying to mislead the public in the mari, this sort of use is not allowed. So adukaga dhaan kaatna. This is a very famous case here in India. Mercedes-Benz oda 3-star vecha VIP tried to file a underwear. This is a trademark that they apply for registration. If you look at the man, look at how he is standing. And the 3 stars they have depicted the picture. This is also considered as infringement or passing off of the trademark. Next. And I will now go into patents. So first I explained to you what is a trademark. It is something that is at top of the mind record. நீங்க இப்போ எங்கேயாவது போனா இங்க சென்னையில வந்தா if someone wants to go shopping, which are the saree shops னு கேட்டா நீங்க நல்லி, போத்தீஸ், குமரன் அதெல்லாம் சொல்லுவாங்க, அதெல்லாம் brand names தான். But what a patent என்னன்னா, it relates to an invention. That is, it is something technical and it is a right that is given for a limited period. And the patent trademark, I kept saying எல்லா 10 years renew பண்ணலாம். Either we will get rights over the patent only for 20 years. And அந்த ஒரு patent right கிடைச்சனா, you can prevent anyone from making, using, selling, importing any patented product which is similar to yours. The thing about both trademarks and patents, actually any intellectual property right, India file பண்ணா entire India தான் cover பண்ணுவேன். இப்போ உங்களுக்கு வெளியில போய் அது ப்ரொடெக்ட் பண்ணணும், நீங்க எக்ஸ்போர்ட் பண்றியா உங்க ட்ரேட்மார்க், உங்க ப்ராடக்ட் ஆர் சர்வீசஸ், then you have to go and file it in those countries. Now, what is a patent used for? It encourages innovation, and obviously innovation encourage panna நிறைய growth வரும். That is how it is positioned. இதுவும் நான் நிறைய டீடைல்ஸ்ல போகல, but I am hoping that there are a lot of teaching aids, for example, that people have filed patents for. Abacus, I'll just use an example of abacus. Abacus நாங்க design file பண்ணிருக்கோம், ஒரு electronic abacus. We have got protection for one of our clients. And there are also certain other instruments or certain processes that are used in teaching. So for that reason, I've just put this up here. But criteria என்னன்னா novelty. That means unga product should not have been sold in the market. புதுசா இருக்கணும். It should never have been commercialized. So novelty is the first condition. And then there must be something that you have done to make the product inventive. It should not be obvious to anyone in that particular field. And also it has to be workable. There has to be some sort of a utility or industrial applicability. இது மூணு இருந்தா தான் patent கிடைக்கும். There has to be, this is absolutely essential for getting a patent. Next. I'm not going here again. See, there are a lot of inventions. இது இந்தியால patent பண்ண முடியாது. சிலது worldwide பண்ண முடியாது. So, for example, India நம்ம நிறைய treatment methodologies இருக்கு. Treatment for human beings. That is not patentable in India. I just wanted to give this to you, a scientific principle, abstract. இதெல்லாம் not patentable in India. Anything against public morality is also not, you can't mix two things and say that I have found something new. A, B mix பண்ணிட்டு எனக்கு புது product வந்திருக்கு. You can't say that because ஏதாவது ஒரு synergy இருக்கணும் அதுல for you to be able to get a patent for it. There's some more things that plants and animals are not patentable in India. Software per se, unless it has a technical effect, அது முடியாது. Presentation of information, traditional knowledge, inventions relating to atomic energy. These are some of the things. If you are doing any studies, PhD பண்ணிட்டு, if that is your subject matter, lot of times people take the PhD, whatever is their PhD subject, and they work on it further, and they actually try and file patents with it. நீங்க அது பண்ணும்போது இந்த மாதிரி section 3 especially is something that you need to look at because they are not patentable in India. If you are coming up with an innovation, because முன்னாடி எல்லாம் engineers தான் innovate பண்ணுவேன்னு சொல்லிட்டு இருக்கு. இப்ப எங்க ஆபீஸ்ல எல்லாம் we have about 25, 30, or no, more than that, engineers who work on the patents in the office. But it is not, they help you to draft the patents. But if you are coming up with an innovation, it need not be in the field that you are studying, something new. I don't know if any of you are aware, simple things like a safety pin, the walking stick that we used to walk, all those are patented invention. So on the rocket science, it can be a simple thing that can actually come under the purview of patents. But the only thing in the research pannana, the records need to maintain pannanam, and before filing the patent and the invention published pannakudadu. The problem that we find with the academics is that Narevati ungalkella enna, how will the community know about me? It is through publication. So a lot of people straight away go and publish. Actually, the first thing to do is, if you have something, please take it, and then please file a patent for it, and then only you can publish that innovation. But நீங்க இப்ப trial பண்ற, secret working பண்ற, அதுக்கெல்லாம் there is no issues with it. And the other thing is, we believe that நிறைய பேர் will be working on one particular matter. So the first to file is the one who has the priority. So as soon as you have something, you have to actually proceed to file. And yeah, you can just keep going. It will keep coming. So patent searches, we always say, unga product eppadi, the first criteria was novelty. Eppadi theriyo that it is novel. So for that, we do all these patent searches. So we have to first check on the patentability. And once we check on that, we have to identify the closest prior art. Prior art na, for example, if you are coming up with, I'm just trying to give a simple thing. Say a ruler that does something, because I'm trying to, you have to check and see whether there's anything that is close to it, close to the technical working. I'm not talking about just a regular ruler, but it may have a lot of other technical innovations in it. And if you do a patent search properly, then you can file a stronger application because உங்களுக்கு ஏற்கனவே தெரியும் என்ன இருக்குன்னு. And it also helps you to check on infringements. And நம்ம பண்ணது இனியொருத்தர் பண்ணா, that is also going to be a problem. When you have your own businesses, you will have competitors. You can also check and see in the competitor or portfolio enna file பண்ணிருக்கேன். This is also the procedure. I am not going to go. We do the prior art search. It is filed. You can file a provisional. or a complete specification. These are all things, if you have got a bare idea, then you can file a provisional and within 12 months file the complete specification. The patent is published in 18 months. Again, anyone can oppose it. Within 48 months, we have to file a request for examination. Patent office file pannada, ida examine agum. And then you have to prosecute it. If it goes to acceptance, and there's no opposition, then the patent is granted. And then every year, unlike trademarks, every 10 years, we will be filing for the renewal. Either every year for 20 years, you have to file after the grant of the patent. This is what I just mentioned. So your patent is valid for 20 years, but you have to pay the fees every year. It's called patent annuity fees. Other than pay panno. And your protection runs from the date of filing the original patent. Now, I've just put the design of a chair there. It can be anything, anything that you can look at on your table. Bottle. So, for example, node in the bottle, this is something that is protected under design. That is the external appearance of the bottle. So, that is something that you can take. What you see with your eye. Table, maybe you will have your cup, you will have your bottle, you will have your pen. And the pen unique, then it has to be an integral part of the article. Adaka, you can take a design registration. So the difference, yeah, so these are the examples. Look at the shape of the Coca-Cola bottle. In the bottle, but not so much. But this particular shape, we are all very familiar from long ago. This can be protected as a design. Car or shape, your shoes, anything that is visually appealing to you or which is unique visually can be protected under, see, tiles or picture potilka, the Karekudi tiles, Nare tiles, other, all those things you can file under design application. See, the rice cooker, pressure cooker, all those things. This is a very unique design. But again, a trademark, you can use it for any number of years and file it. But patents and designs, you have to file that application before you launch the product. So tomorrow, if any one of you is going to come up with a unique product, before you launch the product, you have to look and see, can I take a patent for it? Can I take a design for it? So those are the things that are very critical for both design and patents. Again, the procedure, you file, it is examined, and it is registered. The thing with a design registration is that it is valid for 10 years. Adukapram or 5 years kuda renew pannalam. After that, it goes into public domain. Patents from 20 years kapram, you will see a lot of companies, generic drug manufacturers, what they do is that they will then proceed to manufacture it as a generic drug when it goes out of the period of protection. And the Mari design, if you have a new car, for example, other people can copy your car design after 15 years. This is something that is very critical. I wanted to bring this out for the reason that a trade secret now you have not disclosed it outside. Nare recipes for example, it is a trade secret. Now, how do you protect it is a very dicey thing. In India, we don't have a law for the protection. But we will actually keep it as a secret, only pass it down maybe to generations, or only few employees in the firm will know, the partners of a firm will know, and the board of directors. So what happens is, but the problem with the trade secret is the word, it is secret. So the moment it is leaked out, it loses all the protection that it has. So therefore, there is an issue with this, because also there is no law basically for the protection. Copyright. This is what I want. I mean, I've gone through all the other things, but this is something which is very critical to the audience that I have today. I was thinking I should expand on it more, but still, it is an exclusive right. So say you're going to come out with a literary, so you're going to write a book. You have the exclusive right to use that book to decide who is going to, what language it is going to be translated in, who is going to. So we find a lot of these Tamil literatures, it's getting translated. But who does it own to? You need to get their permission. And also an artistic work. If you're drawing something, there is anything that is very unique about anything artistic you're coming, also you can take a copyright protection. Computer software, movies, music, sound recordings, all these are protected under copyright. So I'm just going back to what I said. If you are the author of a book, the right is yours to reproduce, to issue copies. You can perform, you can communicate to the public. நாளைக்கு உங்களுக்கு அதுக்கு translation பண்ணணுமா, adaptation பண்ணணுமா, அதெல்லாம் உங்களுக்கு தான் right as the author of the work. So even after the copyright term expires, which we will come to as to the number of years, you still have a moral right. If, for example, நீங்க போய் ஒரு statue பண்ணி வச்சுட்டு, somebody has done something to it and mutilated the work, you have every right to protest and take them to court because they have mutilated what is your work, because it affects your moral rights. Another colorful slide. We basically say, now today the habit of a lot of people is, and especially now we are finding, I don't know how all of you as teachers are going to actually identify, because with today's chat GPT coming in, you don't know whether the answers have been produced from there. So that is all things where we say that copyright protection is going to become a major challenge and a way forward actually as far as IP is concerned. So when we basically say, thou shalt not steal. That was my best Tamil that I tried. So, don't steal somebody else's work. It's their original work. So, but if you have an idea and it is in your mind, you cannot possibly get protection for it unless you actually have it put down. You have to express your idea, and it has to be original. It has to be creative. So we find in some of the series, people come up with the same result, but there is a difference in the way of presentation. So these are all things that are protected. So an expression of an idea is protected, but what is an idea is in your mind. How do I know? So until you put it down, we cannot get a copyright protection for it. Again, the procedure, it is not compulsory. The moment any of you write something, sign something, at the end of the date, if you're able to prove, then it belongs to you. It is not compulsory to protect a copyright. But if you're filing it, then it is filed with the Department of Education. We file it online. It's in Delhi. You file it, it's examined, it's registered. And if you see that C in a circle, if any of you are coming up with some original work, நீங்க அதுக்கு பக்கத்துல C போட்டுட்டு உங்க பேரு போட்டு year போட்டுடுங்க. At least that will give you some form of protection. Copyright is valid for the lifetime of the author. If நீங்க ஒரு book எழுதுனேன்னு வெச்சுக்கோங்க, அந்த bookோட your lifetime plus another 60 years it is valid for. And cinematographic work and sound recordings are valid for 60 years from the date of publication. So if you look at the validity trade, this is this gives you longer protection, because during your lifetime you are definitely protected as an author of the work. So how is it that you call யாராவது உங்க infringe பண்ணியிருக்காங்க? If somebody reproduces your work, issues copies, performs, communicates, or adapts or translates, unga permission illame idu edavadhu pannana, it is considered as infringement of copyright, and it is a criminal offense also, unlike trademarks and all that, which is a civil, it goes under a civil suit. For infringement of copyright, the punishment is much more severe. This is a question I want all of you to ask yourself. Does the law permit? Without the permission, if you've written a book, yaradha use pannalama, unga permission illama. Pannalam. There is one exception which is called fair use. And that is what will come into the next slide. See, this is something that will be very applicable for all of you here, because if you are using any copyrighted material, for your private use, ungalkaga use panna illa research kaga use panna, it is considered under fair use, and that is an exception. You can for criticism or review, even the current, if you are reporting the current events through a newspaper, in the judicial proceedings it's reported, all those are considered, if you are using that, reproducing that, it is fair use. And most critically, anything that is used for an educational purpose is considered to be fair use. Do you need to get acknowledgement before using a copyright work? When you're copy pasting, saying that this person did so and so, like I just quoted Albert Einstein, for example, do I need his permission? Now, a lot of people just put saying that it belongs to so and so, or they say that it is from this, they acknowledge the rights. Is it mere acknowledgement is not always enough. When you are using it, say for example, if you're going to write a book, if you're going to sell the book, then it is always better to get permission, write to the owner, say I'm going to use this, I will acknowledge, unga peru naan keela podren, can I use it? Send them a mail. And also, if there is anything else, anything that is in public domain, a work used in public domain can always be used. I've just put this in because intellectual property, people don't give it, now people give it a lot of importance. We work with a lot of colleges and institutions where they have realized that, for example, engineering, not only engineering, we've also got it from arts and science colleges also, where they file patents. So we tell them that you should invest in it. And then what happens is, in this case, this is more in terms of if you're going to start your own business, but also for an educational institution or any research institution, if you have patents that you have generated on the institution level, it gives you a lot of credit, or it gives you an additional advantage. And today there is the NAC accreditation. There are a lot of things which are actually you asking for patent grants. So we always say that the proactive steps to protect, you have to protect your intellectual property. Naalaikku oru aal adu misuse pannittu ungalku oru pudu brand, if you have one and you have not protected it, you continue to use it, யாராவது அது போய் மிஸ்யூஸ் பண்ணா அதுக்கு அப்புறம் அவங்கள கோர்ட்ல எடுத்துட்டு போனதெல்லாம், it is going to be very expensive and time consuming. So we always say protect your rights. All the rights that I talked about, if you have any of them, you need to protect them first. That's all from me. I just wanted to, I'm actually happy to take any questions. I did try and cut it shorter. Maybe we can go off screen sharing, but if there's anyone who wants to ask any questions, I'm very sorry again. I know the Tamil was not too great. I think it sounded more like Malayalam to me, but I have two of my colleagues from, I think both Sukanya and Sri Lakshmi are here. So if anyone is more comfortable in Tamil, please ask the question. They will be happy to answer. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. That was a very brief, but it had all those things that the students need to know in the first place. Ma'am, I have released, our students were all the time available on their audio and video. Students, you may please open up your audio and interact with ma'am. Today she is available here to clarify your queries. These are all new things that you have learned today, and definitely what goes into what will still be a confusing thing. Where this design goes, is it becoming a design or under a trademark? If you have any kind of questions that you would like to clarify, please talk to ma'am. You can either message your questions in the chat box or talk to her. Hi, Chandramouli, please talk.
Yes, ma'am. So I have a doubt, ma'am.
Yes, please.
Okay. You mentioned about the copyrights, patent and trademark things. So these things corresponds to an individual person, right, ma'am? So an individual person discovers something innovative and he goes for filing the patent. So in the case of geographical indication, who will file for geographical indication?
Good question. So the thing is, geographical indication, for example, if I'm saying Darjeeling tea, it cannot be owned by any individual, any company, no one. they have to form an association. I'm using the example of Darjeeling tea, for example. The growers in that particular region have to form an association, and the association is the one that applies for the geographical indication. Now, tomorrow, if I'm also starting to grow there, I can actually go to this association who has got the geographical indication granted in their name and get a license or get myself enrolled with them as a registered user. So it has to be an association.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Deepan Kumar, if you'd like to talk something, please switch on. That must be it. And we normally upload the videos also in the YouTube channel, ma'am. If there are any queries, students come back on that platform, ma'am. Now, may I request Dr. Rangarajan from the college to propose the vote of thanks, please.
Good afternoon to one and all gathered here. On this wonderful occasion, I would like to present the vote of thanks. I take this opportunity to thank the respected chief guest, Mrs. Elizabeth Puthran of this session, for giving us an overview on intellectual property rights. In spite of her busy schedule, we will cultivate the advice you gave us in real life, and it will help our students to understand the nuances of the topic and empower them. Thank you, madam. I extend my sincere gratitude to the respected principal, Dr. M. Anbuchelian, not only for spending his valuable time with us today, but also encouraging us to achieve many endeavors. Thank you, sir. It's my pleasure to thank the RUSA and the team members of State Project Director Tamil Nadu. I would also extend my hearty thanks to our faculty members and my dear student friends for enthusiastically participating in this session. Last but not the least, I would like to thank you all once again. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for the kind words, and thank you, ma'am, for the brief presentation and making the students aware of what all are existing around us. And thank you so much, students. We are keen to know how you feel about the program. We have shared a feedback link in the chat box. Please respond for the questions. We'd like to know how the program was useful to you. And a sincere thanks to the chief guest of the day, Elizabeth Puthran ma'am, for the wonderful presentation. And my thanks to the principal, faculty, and students of Government College of Education for the successful conduct of WoW 85 on the topic intellectual property rights. Thank you, one and all. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Thank you. It's been a pleasure to be here.
Yes,
Thank you.
sure. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.